Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Sociology with Mahima. In this video, we will cover the Unit 2 of IGNOU MSO-001 Sociological Theories and Concepts. So let's get started. The everyday experiences of people provide the initial basis for how words are understood within a community of speakers. When members of a group consistently use words in the same sense, a shared meaning is established. However, as knowledge expands and becomes more technical, these ordinary words are gradually redefined with greater precision, acquiring properties and scientific applications that transform them into scientific terms. Such defined words are referred to as concepts, and their technical meaning is commonly understood by those engaged in scientific inquiry. Concepts are not isolated, they are used to signify relationships with one another. For instance, in natural sciences like physics, chemistry, and biology, concepts are crucial for measuring forces and substances, forming equations, and conducting experiments. In contrast, the social sciences face limitations in conducting direct experiments, but they compensate by employing comparative methods which allow indirect forms of experimentation. Ultimately, when concepts are placed in interaction with each other, they provide the foundation for the formulation of theory. However, unlike rigid law of physics, sociological theories require constant revision since social realities are dynamic and change over time. Illustrations of this process are found in the works of Durkheim and Weber, who built theories on concepts like social solidarity and ideal types, and later in the contributions of Parsons and Merton, who refined theoretical approaches in sociology. Language is a uniquely human ability that allows us to describe, analyze, and communicate our thoughts, feelings, and actions. It is a social product since words acquire meaning only when they are accepted and understood by members of a community. This shared meaning enables social interaction. A story from the Naga tribe in northeastern India illustrates this. 9 groups brought salt to a meeting but used 9 different words for it, making communication difficult. This shows the importance of a common word signifying the same object. Words also acquire meanings beyond their literal sense, becoming tied to positions and authority. For example, in political settings, the word chair may stand for authority, while in law, the bench refers symbolically to judges. Communication is effective only when meanings are shared and consistent. Signs and gesture can also convey meaning, but these vary across cultures. A sideways head movement in Andhra Pradesh means yes, while in northern India it means no. A thumbs up in the west means readiness, but in India it can signal rejection. Such examples show the need for agreed meaning to make interaction possible. This leads to the idea of consensual meaning, where words are understood similarly within a group. Since words are chosen by humans to describe reality, many philosophers argue that reality itself is a social construct, shaped by intersubjective agreement. Thinkers like Karl Popper and Immanuel Wallerstein, influenced by the Vienna Circle, extended these ideas in philosophy, economics, and sociology. When scientists use words, these words acquire technical meanings and become concepts. Unlike everyday usage, where people might simply say someone has a fever, scientific progress introduced precise terms such as malaria or influenza, which identify specific causes, conditions, or agents responsible for illness. These technical words become concepts that allow physicians and technicians to measure and analyze phenomena in systematic ways. Development of concepts is central to the natural sciences. Chemistry, for instance, advanced significantly when the atom was discovered as the smallest particle capable of chemical reaction. With the adoption of atomic weight, scientists arranged 92 elements into the periodic table, later expanded to 110 with unstable elements. The interrelations of such concepts produced theoretical propositions. Over time, the linking of these propositions resulted in the formulation of theories. The process of theory formulation follows key steps: identifying the smallest unit and its characteristics, studying how these units interact to form compounds or complexes, stating these interactions in terms of concepts and their results, and repeated experimentation to confirm, revise, or refine the conclusions. Thus, concepts form the building blocks of scientific knowledge, while theory emerges from the structured interconnection of these concepts through observation, experimentation, and revision. Concepts are abstracts, not directly visible things. We arrive at them by generalizing from specific cases. A proper noun like Somnath or Abdul Kalam becomes an abstraction when we refer to them as speaker or president. highlighting their roles or characteristics rather than personal identity. Thus, conceptual abstractions means moving from the specific names, individuals, or places to the general role, categories, or characteristics, which allow sociology to study society in terms of patterns and relationships rather than the isolated individuals. In sociology, concepts help describe and categorize social relationships. Words are used with specific meanings to distinguish between similar and different things. For example, people can be grouped by categories such as male and female, or by generational roles like father and son, mother and daughter, or in-laws. These classifications allows us to describe relationships systematically. The simplest relationships is between two persons, called a dyad. British social anthropologist Radcliffe Brown argued that dyadic relationships are the starting point of all social relationships. However, relationships differ. Some are temporary and event-based, while others are repeated and patterned. When actions are repeated and recognized, they form a pattern of expected behavior. According to Nadel, a role is always performed by many individuals, and each individual simultaneously plays multiple roles. Thus, sociology explains that while an individual is one biological unit, socially he or she is many persons. Since every individual performs multiple roles and maintains multiple relationships. Concepts to theorems. Concepts slowly develop into theorems and then into theories in science. Think of the difference between arithmetic and algebra. In arithmetic, we solve every problem separately, like adding one sum then the next, then subtracting, multiplying, and so on. But in algebra, instead of doing each case individually, we discover a formula that works in all cases. So, algebra shows us a general method which is similar to how a theorem or theory emerges. The same process happens in geometry. First, we learn about simple concepts like points, lines, or angles, then these connect to form theorems, like the fact that the three angles of a triangle always add up to 180 degrees. These theorems don't stand alone, they interlink, and together they build into a broader framework, which we call a theory. Now, if we look at the natural sciences, the process is very similar. Take the famous example of Newton and the falling apple. Apples had always fallen from trees, but Newton asked why. From this simple question came the theory of gravity. But importantly, theories are never final. They are always open to revision when new discoveries come. So science grows by this continuous questioning and revising. It's impersonal too. The method of science combines two approaches: deduction, where we move from theory to specific facts, and induction, where we move from specific observations to a general explanation. These two keep working together, and because of that, scientific knowledge is never static. Towards social science, Durkheim, Weber, and beyond. There has been a long debate about whether social sciences can follow the same methods as natural sciences. Thinkers like Comte, Durkheim, and Radcliffe Brown firmly believed that they could, while Lilte, a historian, argued otherwise. Max Weber tried to take a middle ground between these two positions. Durkheim's classic study of society is the best example of the process of the foundation for theory. Durkheim begins by clarifying the meaning of society and identifying different types of society. He then classified the existing official records of society into these categories, carefully noting their distribution across various social groups. He didn't just stop there. He offered explanation for each type, and from this, he built a general theory of society. At its heart, his theory showed that societies are connected to the degree of social integration and solidarity in society. Weber, on the other hand, approached theory formation differently. His most famous work connects the Protestant ethic with the rise of capitalism. To do this, he first carefully defined his key terms, Protestant ethic and capitalism, and shaped them into what he called ideal types. He then looked for cases where both were present together and where they were absent, drawing comparisons across historical context. He analyzed data on education systems in different religious groups, eventually finding a strong connection between Protestant cultural values and the early development of capitalism. His study not only explained this specific link but also tied it into the larger history of civilizations. In the 20th century, Talcott Parsons stand out as one of the most influential sociologists for the way he conceptualized human action and built connection between different spheres of society, such as the economy, polity, family, institutions, and the processes that maintain social patterns. What makes Parsons' work remarkable is that it was not confined to sociology alone. He drew upon economics, anthropology, and psychology, bringing together insights from all those fields to construct what he called a general theory of action. His approach was ambitious because it aimed to explain not just isolated aspects of society but the underlying principles that held the entire social systems together. As Parsons matured in his intellectual journey, his focus shifted towards studying society as a system made up of interrelated subsystems. He analyzed how the economy, polity, family, and professions, especially medicine, functioned within American society and how each contributed to stability of the whole. As sociology progressed beyond the broad and abstract system of thought, there emerged a clear shift toward grounding theories in specific empirical realities. Robert K. Martin sought a balance between the extremes of grand theory and mere descriptive studies. Merton introduced the influential ideas of theories of the middle range, where theory serves a heuristic purpose, acting as a guide for further research and helping to link conceptual ideas with empirical inquiry. A key contribution from Merton was his reworking of the concept of function. He refined it into three categories: functions as positive contributions to social order, dysfunctions as negative consequences, and non-functions as irrelevant outcomes. At the conceptual level, Merton contributed to a wide range of areas. He expanded the analysis of anomie, the conflict between culturally accepted goals and the socially available means to achieve them, building on Durkheim but sharpening it for modern context. He introduced the ideas of role set as the multiple roles attached to a single social status, and reference group as the group individuals use as standards to evaluate themselves, both of which becomes highly influential as middle-range theories. Indian sociology was enriched by conceptualization. For instance, M.N. Srinivas introduced the ideas of Sanskritization and dominant caste, while Adrian C. Mayer applied the notion of quasi-groups to study municipal elections in Devas, Madhya Pradesh. These contributions shows how sociologists in India adapted and reworked Western concepts to study unique features of Indian society, such as the little community and peasant society. In conclusion, the journey from words to concept and from concepts to theories is the backbone of both natural and social sciences. While natural sciences advance rapidly through experimentation, social sciences grow more slowly, relying on comparison, history, and interpretation. Yet, the underlying process is similar. Concepts provide the building blocks, and theories emerge through abstraction, generalization, and testing. The works of Durkheim, Weber, Parsons, Merton, and Indian sociologists demonstrate that theory building in sociology is a continuous process, shaped by context, revised over time, and essential for making sense of complex social realities. So that's it for today's class. We will cover more units like this in further classes. So stay tuned, and if you haven't watched Unit 1, please watch it. You can find the link in the description. So yeah, if you like today's class, please like and share it with fellow learners. If you have any doubt or any suggestion, feel free to comment. Thank you.